Vietnam, a journey through its history, people, and culture. Vietnam, officially the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, is a fascinating country located in Southeast Asia, nestled on the eastern edge of the Indochina Peninsula. With an area of approximately 331,000 square kilometers, 128,000 square miles, it is home to over 100 million people, making it the 15th most populous country in the world. Its strategic position, sharing land borders with China to the north and Laos and Cambodia to the west, combined with maritime borders with Thailand, the Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia, has shaped both its history and its cultural identity. The country's two largest cities, Hanoi, the capital, and Ho Chi Minh City, the bustling economic hub, are emblematic of the rich cultural and historical depth that Vietnam offers to the world. Vietnam's early history, from ancient kingdoms to dynastic rule. Vietnam's history is long and deeply rooted, with evidence of human habitation dating back to the Paleolithic period. Early Vietnamese civilization began to flourish in the first millennium BC, particularly along the fertile Red River Delta in the northern part of the country. This was the heartland of the Van Lang and O Lac kingdoms, which were early precursors of modern Vietnamese statehood. In 111 BC, the Han dynasty of China annexed northern and central Vietnam, beginning a millennium-long period of Chinese domination. During this era, Chinese culture, Confucian philosophy, and Buddhism significantly influenced Vietnam, laying the groundwork for a distinct Vietnamese identity to evolve. Despite centuries of foreign rule, Vietnam preserved its own unique culture, as successive dynasties in later years embraced these influences while adapting them to local customs. After numerous revolts and periods of autonomy, Vietnam finally achieved independence in 939 AD, when the first Vietnamese dynasty was established. Over the centuries, Vietnam experienced waves of expansion, pushing southwards towards the Mekong Delta, eventually absorbing the Kingdom of Kampa and forming the territorial boundaries we recognize today. Dynasties like the Lai, Tran, and Nguyen continued to build a powerful nation, each contributing to the country's cultural and territorial development. Colonial era and war, a struggle for sovereignty. The 19th century marked a pivotal period in Vietnam's history with the rise of French colonialism. In 1883, after the last emperor of the Nguyen dynasty ceded control to France, Vietnam was absorbed into French Indochina. This period of colonial rule, characterized by the exploitation of resources and the imposition of French culture and institutions, left a lasting impact on Vietnam's social and economic structure. However, Vietnamese resistance against foreign domination remained strong, culminating in the August Revolution of 1945. Ho Chi Minh, a communist revolutionary leader, declared Vietnam's independence from Japan after World War II, forming the Democratic Republic of Vietnam. Yet, this newfound freedom would soon be challenged. The French attempted to reassert control, sparking the First Indochina War. Vietnam's victory over the French in 1954 at the Battle of Dien Bien Phu resulted in the signing of the Geneva Accords, dividing the country into North Vietnam, led by the Communists, and South Vietnam, supported by anti-communist allies, including the United States. What followed was the protracted Vietnam War, a conflict that drew global attention and left deep scars. The war saw North Vietnam, backed by the Soviet Union and China, battling South Vietnam, heavily supported by the United States. After years of brutal fighting, the North emerged victorious in 1975, leading to the reunification of the country under the Communist Party of Vietnam, CPV. In 1976, post-war reconstruction and economic reforms. The aftermath of the Vietnam War was a period of immense hardship for the country. The economy, based on a centralized, planned model, struggled to recover, and Vietnam was further crippled by international trade embargoes, especially from the West. Conflicts with neighboring Cambodia and China, as well as the collapse of Vietnam's Soviet and Eastern Bloc allies, added to the challenges. In 1986, realizing the need for reform, the Communist Party introduced a series of economic changes known as Doi Moi, renovation. These reforms shifted Vietnam towards a socialist-oriented market economy, opening the door for private enterprise and foreign investment while maintaining the political dominance of the CPV. This period marked the beginning of Vietnam's rapid economic growth, transforming it into one of the fastest-growing economies in the world. Despite ongoing challenges, such as corruption, environmental issues, and human rights concerns, Vietnam has emerged as a dynamic and developing nation, often referred to as a rising Asian tiger, a land of natural beauty and cultural richness. Beyond its turbulent history, Vietnam captivates visitors with its breathtaking landscapes and rich cultural heritage. From the terraced rice paddies of Sapa in the north to the lush, winding canals of the Mekong Delta in the south, Vietnam's natural beauty is awe-inspiring. The iconic limestone formations of Ha Long Bay, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, draw visitors from around the world, while the ancient town of Hoi enchants travelers with its lantern-lit streets and centuries-old architecture. Vietnam's cultural tapestry is as rich as its landscapes. The influence of Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism is evident in the country's traditions, while French colonial architecture and cuisine reflect its complex colonial past. Vietnamese people are known for their resilience, hospitality, and strong sense of community. Family plays a central role in Vietnamese society, and this is reflected in everyday life, from the bustling markets to the vibrant street food scene that offers delicacies like pho, banh mi, and fresh spring rolls. The path forward Vietnam in the global arena. Today, Vietnam stands as a key player in Southeast Asia, balancing its socialist political system with the demands of a market-oriented economy. The country is an active member of international organizations, including ASEAN, the World Trade Organization, WTO, and the United Nations, where it has twice held a seat on the Security Council. Vietnam's foreign policy is marked by a commitment to peace and multilateralism, and it has sought to strengthen ties with both Western nations and neighboring Asian countries. Although challenges remain, ranging from environmental sustainability to improving civil liberties, Vietnam's future looks bright. Its youthful population, growing middle class, and increasing integration into global markets promise continued growth and development in the years to come. Conclusion: Vietnam's spirit of resilience and adaptability. Vietnam's story is one of resilience, adaptability, and transformation. From its ancient origins to its modern status as a rapidly developing nation, Vietnam has weathered invasions, colonialism, and war, emerging as a vibrant and forward-looking country. Its people's spirit, combined with the country's stunning natural beauty and cultural richness, make Vietnam a compelling destination and a nation to watch on the world stage. Whether exploring its history, tasting its culinary delights, or marveling at its landscapes, Vietnam offers a unique and enriching experience to all who visit.